Namaskar and welcome to Kundli Consult. Today we will discuss one of the very important topics in Jyotish, which normally people who are not into Jyotish but have interest in Jyotish do not know about or have just faintly heard about it. And many astrologers do not know to use this concept properly. And here I'm talking about the D9 divisional chart, or what is also called in Vedic Jyotish as Navamsha. So when you look at your horoscope, you generally look at D1 chart, which is called the quality. And people look at it and say, this planet is bad, that planet is bad, so on and so forth. And D9 Kundli or Navamsh Kundli, most astrologers use it only to see about marriage. But that also, they do not know exactly how to really judge a marriage or use it for marriage. For example, D9 does not show whether you will have a marriage or not, where there is going to be a problem in actually getting married or not. It is from D1. D9 actually shows what happens after marriage. But leave that aside. Traditional astrologers, there's a famous saying among them. They say it is a sin to judge a horoscope without looking at the Navamsh or the T1. So you can understand how important it is actually, but it is normally ignored or people do not know how to use it. And often you will hear people saying that this dasha, the dasha of this planet has not been good for me. The dasha of that planet has been good for me. And sometimes they will say, after 10, 15 years, oh, that time period which I thought was very bad is actually good because some things haven't happened during that time which ultimately delivered good results. Which means in retrospective, many times your viewpoint changes about what happened during this period. But if you know to look at D9 and making simple judgments, I will just tell you simple things. Then you will actually know whether dasha of a planet, or for that point of view, that planet itself in your horoscope, even how badly you think it is placed in your Janam Kundli or D1 chart, is it really good for you? Which means a planet may take you through all the troubles, but the end result will always be good, which you may realize at the end of the dasha or maybe later on that line. And that is the way to judge that is look at D9. And that is why many classics say D9 or Navamsh Kundli is the fruit of your horoscope, is the fruit of your chart. आपकी कुंडली का फल है नवांश कुंडली. And just use the simple thing, which means if D1 is the tree, ultimately what fruit it will bear is the Navamsh. And I will try to tell you this in a very simple way, is that even if a planet is very badly placed in your Janam Kundli or D1, if it is well placed in D9 without any affliction, then that planet ultimately is doing good for you, which you may realize or may not realize. However, the planet may be badly placed in D1, afflicted, debilitated, but in D1, if it is well placed, suppose a planet is very badly placed in D1, Jan Kundli, but in D9, for example, if it is placed in the 9000 D9 Navamsh Kundli and is not afflicted and possibly aspected by a benefic planet, then that planet during his dasha is going to be extremely hard on you. You will face pressure, struggles, but the end result would be very good in your life because in Navamsh it is very well placed. And that is why traditional astrologers say it's a sin to ignore D9, because there you see what actually a planet is doing, irrespective of how you feel about it. And I will take one example where I'll connect this concept, which is more important, and marriage, for which D9 is usually seen. But I will take marriage from D9 in some separate way. So let's talk about Bill Gates, because Bill Gates recently was in news because he got divorced after something like 30 or 35 years of marriage. Now, for marriage, you need to look at a very basic point, Venus, which is a karak of marriage, and the seventh lord. Now, if you look at the D1 chart of Bill Gates, Venus is very well placed. Venus is placed in the fifth house, which is one of the good houses. It is in Libra, fifth house Libra, so it is its own sign. Saturn is there, it is exalted. So Saturn is there doing good, it is not really afflicting Venus. Sun is there. Sun, fifth house. So in Navamsha, in Kal Purush Kundali, it's his own house. So therefore, Sun is also good out there. So which means basically Venus in D1 is very well placed. The seventh lord is also reasonably well placed in D1. I'm not going into that detail, but you have a very well placed Venus and a well placed seventh lord in D1, and therefore marriage happens in so many years. Marriage goes on, they appear publicly happy, nobody could figure out, but suddenly it happened as a divorce was announced. Some lot of people in the world, where most of the people were shocked. Then the various stories have come out. So now look, you apply the same concept in D9, which is the Navamsha. So I will take Venus, which in his D9 happens to be the seventh lord also. So seventh lord and Venus are same for his D9 Kundali, which is the, as I said, fruit of your rose. Look what is happening to Venus, which is the seventh lord in D9. Venus there is placed in the third house. Third house is not a good house for Venus, because third house Karak is Mars as per Kal Purush Kundali. So it is not comfortable there. Two, in third house, it is placed with Mars and Saturn. Now here Saturn is not in a special position, therefore it is afflicting Venus. And Mars is also afflicted, which means Venus is very badly afflicted in D9 by Saturn and Mars. Add to it, Rahu is aspected, and Venus has no aspect of benefic planet, which means Venus is completely hammered in D9. Therefore, you see D1 Venus, seventh lord well placed, marriage goes on, but ultimately for the marriage, the fruit is a divorce. Because in D9, the seventh lord and Venus are very, very badly afflicted. So therefore, you see any planet on its karak, if in D9 it is well placed, the end result is good. But if in D9 it is afflicted or badly placed, then you face struggle during the dasha, or ultimately that planet gives you bad result. I hope you have understood this important concept. Do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, so that you continuously get to see my videos, and share it amongst your friends and relatives for understanding of true Vedic Jyotish. Namaskar and thank you.